Husband!
Yes, wife.
Let's read the Bible.
But we're atheists. Why would we want to do such a thing?
Because we live in small town USA and everyone around us quotes this thing extensively and we have no idea how to respond?
That's true. Neither of us grew up with religion, yet Christianity is playing a huge part in our country's politics.
We're not scholars or academics, so Sacrilegious Discourse is our first take reaction.
And this feed houses our reading of the book of Genesis, and each subsequent book will get its own separate feed too.
Why are we separating each book?
Not all podcast platforms allow access to older episodes. This will ensure our listeners don't lose access to any of our previously released material.
You can find our most recent episodes on our main channel, Sacrilegious Discourse.
That's right. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
So, do you remember what we talked about last time?
No.
Oh my god. Okay. So, we talked about how Abram and Lot split their land and how they had servants, slaves.
Got it. Okay.
And we were very disappointed that it's not good yet.
Right. Well, we may continue with disappointing ideas about this book.
I thought you were going to be positive and say something hopeful.
No. But you know what? Maybe we should give hope for the people that are listening that think we're going to end up being converted. Should we give them hope?
I don't like to lie.
But hey, if you've liked this, podcast so far, you should definitely subscribe to it because, we'd love to have you back next week, even though this is a shitty book.
Yeah. And the week after, and the week after, and the week after.
Because hopefully you don't think we're shitty. That'd be great.
Right.
Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are, and our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there, so it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap. Oh. But, we can definitely use any amount, so, any support is always appreciated.
So what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Okay, Genesis 14. Abram rescues Lot.
Oh, okay.
They just split up and
I know,
somebody
right?
already needs rescuing?
Yeah.
Womp womp. About this time, war broke out in the region. Now we're getting somewhere.
Oh, right, war.
King... No, that's not the right thing to cheer for.
Okay, all right. Well, I just was thinking, it's exciting. Something exciting's happening. War. Although the last time that there was warring people...
There was a rapey thing that happened.
Well, and God, killed everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah,
maybe not so good.
Let's not cheer for war.
Right.
King Amraphel of Babylonia, King Arioch of Elasar, King Kedorlaomer of Elam, and King Tidal of Goyim fought against King Bera of Sodom, King Bersha of Gomorrah, King Shinab of Admah, King Shemabir of Zeboim, and the King of Bela, also called Zoar.
Good God, at some point we should count up how many names have been dropped in the first, 15 chapters.
And how many I butchered.
And that's all of them. Except maybe Lot.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I like Peleg.
Peleg. The second group of kings joined forces in Siddim Valley, that is, the Valley of the Dead Sea. For 12 years they had been subject to King Kedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled against him.
The 13th year of what? After the flood?
The 13th year after 12 years of being subject to him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and after 12 years, they were like,
Got it.
I had enough of this shit.
Okay, all right.
1 year later, Kedar-Laomer and his allies arrived and defeated the Raphaites at Ashtaroth-Carnum, the Zuzites at Ham, the Emites at Sheva-Kiriathaim.
I think we just need to rewrite this whole damn thing and rename everything so that it's not, like, stupid.
And the Horites at Mount Seir.
Damn Horites.
As far as Elparon at the edge of the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En-Mishpat, now called Kadesh, and conquered all the territory of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites living in Hazazon Tamar.
Look, there was Amorites.
And Mennonites. Then the rebel kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela.
I think you should call it Zeboinga. Sorry.
Also called Zoar. This is hard enough without you cutting me off all the time.
That's what I'm here for, to interrupt you and make you fuck up.
Anyway, all those rebel kings prepared for battle in the valley of the Dead Sea. They fought against King Kedar-Laomer of Elam, King Tidal of Goyim, King Amraphel of Babylonia, and King Arioch of Elasar. 4 kings against 5. I mean, that really sums it up. As it happened...
I could have just said that, right?
Yeah.
4 kings fought 5 kings.
Yeah, exactly. As it happened, the valley of the Dead Sea was filled with tar pits. And as the army of the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some fell into the tar pits, while the rest escaped into the mountains.
Have you ever seen a tar pit?
It's a pit of tar.
I know, but, like, there's always tar pits in movies and stuff, and I've never seen a tar pit.
And why is it there?
Why don't we have tar pits?
I want a tar pit. What would you do with a tar pit?
I don't know.
I mean, is that where you throw your trash? Like, is that what they're talking about?
I mean, it seems like it's like this endless void of things that just sucks down into it, right? So it'd be great.
Yeah.
It's like a trash compactor.
You just throw all your dead bodies that people you murdered along with alligators and recyclables.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. The victorious invaders then plundered Sodom and Gomorrah and headed for home, taking with them all the spoils of war and the food supplies. Ooh, burn.
Wouldn't that be considered spoils of war?
Yeah.
Like, does it have to be?
I mean, I don't know. It's like they're saying they broke into my house and they took all my jewelry and my milk.
Right.
That's 2 separate things.
Okay.
I mean, they took all of my priceless paintings and a bag of sugar.
Okay. All right.
It's different.
Okay.
So the spoils of war and the food supplies.
Got it.
They also captured Lot, Abram's nephew, who lived in Sodom, and carried off everything he owned. You are terrible.
I am terrible.
But one of Lot's men escaped and reported everything to Abram the Hebrew, who was living near the oak grove, belonging to Mamre the Amorite. Mamre and his relatives, Eshcol and Aner, were Abram's allies. When Abram heard that his nephew Lot had been captured, he mobilized the 318, precisely 318,
I see,
trained men who had been born into his household. Then he pursued Kedar-Laomer's army until he caught up with them at Dan.
Okay. It's funny to me how quickly everything progresses because they just showed up and apparently he has trained armies with them now too.
Yeah.
I mean, just all these things just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But I mean, if you think about it, like for 12 going on 13 years now, they've been living in this war zone.
Okay.
And so I'm sure that this wasn't something that he was unprepared for.
Okay.
Like, wouldn't you start training up some people to protect your ass?
Yeah, probably.
So it just didn't tell us that part.
Right.
But I'm sure they didn't appear out of nowhere.
Okay. All right.
There he divided his men and attacked during the night. Kedar-Laomer's army fled, but Abram chased them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. Abram recovered all the goods that had been taken, and he brought back his nephew Lot with his possessions and all the women and other captives. Rapey.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking rapey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, really, that's just grotesque.
It's just something that keeps happening in the Bible.
And it's just like, all their slaves and women.
Well, and sometimes God's like, planning on it.
I know. So. Grotesque. Just grotesque. This is unbearable. Okay. Next section. Melchizedek blesses Abram. After Abram...
More witchcraft.
Yeah. After Abram returned from his victory over Kedar-Lamar and all his allies, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Shava, that is, the king's valley. And Melchizedek, the king of Salem, the king of Salem and a priest of God Most High, brought Abram some bread and wine. Melchizedek blessed Abram with his blessing, as opposed to blessing him with his curse.
Right. Yeah.
Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who has defeated your enemies for you.
Didn't God already bless whatever Abram... Like, Abram was supposed to be like the rock star, right?
Yeah.
So, like, does he need more blessings?
I don't really understand how blessings work because, like, if you tell God bless you, aren't you saying, like, bestow goodness upon yourself, God? But, like, God already has all the goodies that, like, I don't really understand the language.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand the intended message.
Right.
I'm probably being nitpicky, but, like, words matter to me.
Sure.
So.
And it's hard to distinguish what they're talking about because
right.
There was some, like, witchcraftery stuff going on back then. Like,
was there?
Well, yeah. Remember we talked about how people were cursing people and stuff and all that? Like, there was some weird shit going on.
You're right. Then Abram gave Melchizedek 1/10 of all the goods he had received. So he won a bunch of spoils of war and slaves and women's and...
So he didn't just give it back. He kept it for himself.
And then he gave a little bit
some of it to some other dude that blessed him.
The king guy.
So he wasn't really, like, nice. He kept it all.
I mean, he is I guess.
We don't know that.
I'm just saying, like, he didn't keep it all.
Right.
Because this guy came in with,
He gave up 1/10 of it.
Bless you.
But he certainly didn't return it to the people.
So basically, like, if he won $100, he gave dude $10.
But he didn't return it to the people.
Right.
He returned a 1/10 of it to one king.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're right. I see your face. That's gross. You're right. Bad math.
Right.
The king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give back my people who were captured, but you may keep for yourself all the goods you have recovered." Abram replied to the king of Sodom, "I solemnly swear to the Lord, God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, that I will not take so much as a single thread or sandal thong from what belongs to you. Otherwise you might say, I am the one who made Abram rich. I will accept only what my young warriors have already eaten, and I request that you give a fair share of the goods to my allies, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre."
Okay. I guess. I think.
I don't know.
I'd have to see the math on this and see what happened.
Well, and not only that, but there's so many names that I'm not familiar with that are difficult that I don't even know who the good guys are and what team each one is on.
Right. You'd have to sit down with, like, a spreadsheet and, like, a map and, like...
Yeah, pencil and paper it.
This requires, like, some serious research.
It's too hard because who even cares?
Right.
Not me.
Right.
That's the end of chapter 14.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in a minute.
Genesis chapter 15, a son promised to Abram. Sometime later, the Lord spoke to Abram in a vision and said to him, "Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you and your reward will be great." Again with the rock star.
Is this like Zoom for God times? Because God sometimes comes down and talks to him, but he just showed up in a vision, so this is like the Zoom call of...
Or like on his watch.
Right, yeah.
But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, what good are all your blessings when I don't even have a son? Since you've given me no children, Eliezer of Damascus, a servant in my household, will inherit all my wealth. You have given me no descendants of my own, so one of my servants will be my heir."
That sounds like a good deal for that servant.
I know, right?
That sounds good.
Maybe the servant is poisoning them, and that's why they can't have kids.
I mean, if you're getting all that wealth, like, like, damn.
Hell yeah.
I'd be like, don't have no kid?
Okay,
I want this shit.
But, like, we don't believe in poisoning people.
Right. Yeah.
Just to be clear.
But this was a long time ago.
So old poison is good, but
no, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that there's a lot of norms back then that,
were different.
Yeah.
Then the Lord said to him, "No, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own who will be your heir." Then the Lord took Abram outside and said to him, "Look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have." So infinity.
Damn.
And Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith. I mean, you know what? If the Lord gave me a bunch of freaking treasures and then told me I was going to be blessed and a rock star,
right,
I would be like, God is great!
Yeah, but he's still complaining. He's like, I need an heir to give all my wealth to.
I know, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
God, I hate this guy.
Because a man as a descendant is very, very important.
Yes.
Very.
It's the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the Lord told him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land as your possession." But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, how can I be sure that I will actually possess it?" Damn, he questioning the Lord.
Right? What's he doing here?
I don't know, but that sounds risky.
Right?
The Lord told him, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon."
What the hell?
And a partridge in a pear tree. I mean, that's animals. So Abram presented all these to him and killed them.
What?
That is just grotesque. Then he cut each animal down the middle and laid the halves side by side. He did not, however, cut the birds in half. Some vultures swooped down to eat the carcasses, but Abram chased them away.
Okay.
What even is happening here?
I don't know.
This is.
I'd be very disturbed if I saw some dude cutting things in half and laying them open for
This is nothing. A scary story all of a sudden. The war was bad but boring. The rape was as expected, but all of a sudden we're doing like way too much sacrifice, and it's just, I don't care for it.
Right.
As the sun was going down, Abram fell into a deep sleep, and a terrifying darkness came down over him. Jesus Christ, this is just, I don't even know. Then the Lord said to Abram, "You can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land, where they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years.
Wait, what? I thought he was helping a dude out.
"But," he continued, "I will punish the nation that enslaves them, and in the end they will come away with great wealth." What?
Oh, this is like they're alluding to the Jewish community. Like,
right.
This is the Jews, right?
Yeah.
He's alluding to that. Yeah. Okay.
So he's like, "I'm going to punish the nation that enslaves them, and they will come away with great wealth. As for you, you will die in peace and be buried at a ripe old age. After 4 generations, your descendants will return here to this land, for the sins of the Amorites do not yet warrant their destruction." Oh my God.
So wait, he already knows he's going to destroy. He already knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything to help.
Your descendants are going to be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. And hell? I'm perfectly okay with that.
Right.
Just don't even sweat it, because after 400 years, I will punish those people.
Dude's like all powerful.
Yeah.
And he's just going to let this shit happen.
Yep.
Because there's probably some sort of a quote unquote lesson.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
You know what? I don't like these lessons.
Right? They're bullshit lessons.
They are bullshit. Because you know what? That's a lot of rape.
Yeah.
400 years of rape.
Right. I mean, forced labor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But I mean, like, I can't even say anything, because the dude that is being cursed to have his descendants be slaves, he himself is a slave owner.
Right.
So it's like, I can't even...
And he's fucking rich.
I know.
Like,
but not
he's
for
got
long.
no worries.
Not for long, apparently.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I thought he was going to be happy his whole life and die at a ripe old age.
Yeah, it'll only be his son.
So it's not going to affect him. It's only going to affect his future.
Let me ask you this. So God comes down and is like, "Hey, guess what? Your kids are going to hate it, but you'll be fine."
I'd be like, is there any way around this?
Or wouldn't you be like, "Thanks for telling me, but I didn't fucking need to know"?
Or like, maybe, what if I gave up all my wealth to you
Right.
in order to save my future generations. Would that help
Right?
things? Because I don't really want them to be slaves for 400 years.
Yeah, yeah. But if there is no way out of this, why are you even just telling me? Like, that in and of itself disallows me from enjoying what I have. Like, that's torture.
And he
for no
questions him
fucking
about some
reason.
things, but he's not questioning him about his people being slaves for 400 years.
Well, he is asleep, to be fair.
Okay.
This is happening in a dream.
It's another Zoom call?
Yeah, it's a Zoom call.
Okay, all right.
After the sun went down and darkness fell, Abram saw a smoking firepot and a flaming torch pass between the halves of the carcasses. So the Lord made a covenant with Abram that day and said, I have given this land to your descendants, all the way from the border of Egypt to the great Euphrates River, the land now occupied by the Kenites, Kenizzites, Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites, and Mennonites, Amorites.
You already said, yeah.
I know, but it'll never get old.
Right.
So,
He's basically talking about the Middle East, which is still not Christian.
right.
I mean, there is some Christian presence there, but not
Has
in
that
any...
400 years passed yet?
Well, one would think.
I mean, we're in 2000s.
Because we're before Jesus right now, right?
Yeah, we're pre-J, so...
But you would think that since that's already passed, because it obviously has,
Right.
that would all be Christian land out there.
Well, I mean, this is
Because God
pre-Christianity.
I know.
It would be
well,
all
okay,
Jewish land.
Okay, either way.
So it should all be Jewish land.
But it's not. It's not even close to that.
Is it a little bit?
No.
What is it?
It's Islamic.
Huh.
It's pretty much all Islamic states out there.
I don't want to, bash Islam or anything like that.
I mean, there is Israel, which I think is what they've claimed as their hold in the Middle East. But what he's describing is from Egypt to the Euphrates, and I believe the Euphrates is to the east of Egypt, which would be not like Israel and stuff, and that'd be a large swath of land.
So basically, are the Jews at this point, I'm sorry, I'm really ignorant, but are the Jews at this point all right, could we just have Israel then?
I guess. I don't know.
I mean...
But it's not what was promised.
No, it's not. It's not. That's sadness.
It's sadness, but it also disproves the word of God.
Right.
Because he didn't hold it. I mean...
He didn't hold his promise.
His prophecy did not come true.
Right.
As written in the Bible.
Unless it did later, and then they lost it again. We haven't...
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. We're only in Genesis.
Okay. All
Maybe
right.
400 years pass and they get it right quick, but then God's pulls the football out from under them like Lucy and Charlie Brown, and
right.
I gave it to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right, that's the end of that chapter.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't, do you have any, I don't got anything.
I don't got anything. I'm just kind of flabbergasted at all the blessing and the cursing and the, your kids are gonna suck it.
Yeah.
That's just...
Some pretty heavy shit.
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah.
Who reads this to their children?
I mean, lots of people.
Okay, and
but remember, they have the good, friendly family kid Bible version.
Okay, so. But this is supposed to be a book for the ages, and I read some pretty heavy shit, but this is supposed to be a family book, right? And so you're just reading your kid to sleep, and you're and God told him to cut those animals in half, and then he did.
But it's not really supposed to be a family book, because as it was written years ago, it was written in Aramaic, and it was not even read by anybody except for scholars, because they were not expecting the masses to actually understand anything in the book. They were supposed to be told what to think from these passages.
So this is basically a history book or whatever, a record that Christians are claiming as a family novel now? Not novel, but
I don't think they're claiming.
Awesome.
No, I don't think they're claiming it's a family book. There are children's Bibles which are written in a much more digestible.
Yeah, and leave out
method.
all the rape and torture.
Sure.
Which is, to me, thus far, a large portion of what this is about.
Well, if that was the first book that these kids were introduced to, they'd probably be turned off from Christianity and Judaism.
Okay, but it's almost like writing a child's version of Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
No, that doesn't work. Or like a KidsBop version of the song WAP. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Right.
Okay, I think that's all I have.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week. No, I'm sorry. We release our podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. So we'll see you on the next Tuesday or Thursday that we release our podcast, because we record these ahead of time, and I'm not sure which one this falls on.
So really, basically, you could have just skipped all of that and just said, see you next time.
I sure could have. But you know what? I didn't. See you guys.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.